liberator, but you can't murder liberation. You can murder revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder freedom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Art of Political Discourse. Let's get right to it. U.S. military assets are being bombed as we speak. The U.S., as well as Israel and allies in the Middle East to the U.S., where the U.S. happen to have military bases, are also under attack. Bombs are dropping like raindrops. That's how many bombs are being dropped. And these bombs are doing significant damage in spite of the lack of footage inside of Israel, as well as those army bases in these or those Arab states, Qatar, Kuwait, UAE, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Jordan. It is happening. More footage would be appreciated if those who control those types of things would allow the people to see what's really taking place. However, this is what we have. The United States military is in a war, okay? And again, they are being bombed as we speak. That's not to say that they're being bombed into submission or they're just getting their butts really whooped. No, they are as well bombing Iran. And those things are, well, more specifically, we understand that they are bombing or sinking Iranian naval ships. So I guess whatever assets that are in the water, be it Iranian or US or even Israeli, those are, I think, will become the targets now, along with those targets that are on land. Again, this is Sewers in breaking news. It is actually happening. The United States is at war with Iran. To say anything less than that would be a lie, a bold-faced lie being told to the people. To help with this, I have some clips I want to share with the people so that you guys can see what's coming out of the Middle East, at least what we're being allowed to see that's coming out of the Middle East, to help you guys get a greater picture or a greater clarity of what's really going on. But before I drop those clips, I like that to ask that you like, share, follow, and subscribe to the Art of Political Discourse, as well as comment. Your comments mean a lot, whether you agree with what this channel says in terms of its content or any opinions we may have about the U.S. government, the Israeli government, or Iran, or anybody in that region. Your comments are more than welcome. We ask that you bring them forth so that we can read them and answer them. That being said, please subscribe to this channel. Again, your subscription, your participation, your viewership on this channel with this channel allows us to bring you more informative and educational content. That being said, let's move on, because again, the U.S. military now seems to be under attack. You know, normally we hear about the U.S. military attacking someone. Now they seem to be under the gun. Let's get to this content. I have multiple clips I want to share with everybody. So bear with me as we go on this journey. This first clip is from NBC News, New York, okay?
The supreme leader of Iran dead after 37 years in power. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei killed when the U.S. and Israel launched airstrikes on Iran. Weekend Today, New York's Jen Maxfield joins us live now from the newsroom with the latest. And Jen, just into us here, we're hearing that 3 American service members have been killed.
That's exactly right, Gus. That news coming in from U.S. Central Command in just the last 10 minutes. 3 U.S. service members killed as part of Operation Epic Fury, and we understand that 5 others were seriously wounded. Again, this just coming into our newsroom. We'll be sure to.
And this is as a result of Iran bombing, literally bombing U.S. military assets in that region. So there, Trump did say that there will be certain casualties on the American side. I guess those casualties are going to start mounting now.
follow this for you and update you. But Iranian missiles, we also understand in just the last couple hours, have killed at least 9 people in central Israel, and they've wounded dozens of others there this morning. Iran has launched strikes on Israel and 7 other Middle Eastern countries. This after there were reports this morning of loud explosions in central Tehran as the U.S. and Israeli-led coalition continued targeted airstrikes next to the country's police headquarters and airport. President Trump had issued a warning overnight on Truth Social, posting that if Iran attacked U.S. interests, in his words, we will hit them with a force that has never been seen before. The Israeli Defense Forces releasing this video this morning of airstrikes in Tehran. Last night, the Iranian government confirming that the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in the airstrikes, along with dozens of other top Iranian officials, including the defense minister and army chief. And we have some other new video coming into our newsroom at this time from central Israel. This is where Israeli officials say Iran targeted the civilian neighborhood of Beit Shemesh, killing at least 9 people, wounding more than 100 others across the country today. Air raid sirens have been going off all morning in Israel, and people have reported seeing rockets flying overhead. A group of 17 religious pilgrims from our area, from Old St. Patrick's Church.
Well, that is the news. They're going to go into some more stuff, but it needs to be understood. Yes, Iran is retaliating or fighting back in spite of that overwhelming power, the overwhelming power of the U.S. military apparatus, war apparatus, and couple that with Israel's military capability. 3 U.S. soldiers nonetheless have been killed in action, and 5 others are seriously wounded during this so-called Operation Epic Fury, a military campaign that is being waged against Iran. U.S. Central Command confirmed on March 1st today that the casualties occurred amid a joint U.S. and Israeli strike operation against Iran. The deaths occurred during that operation. It is an ongoing campaign targeting hostile forces and infrastructure in Iran, according to SITCOM. And I'm smiling because these are the aggressors, the United States and Israel, and yet this report, whoever wrote it is labeling Iran the hostile force. Go figure. Anyway, there's that. These deaths, again, we think are just the beginning. There have been reports that there are actually more than 3 lives lost on the American side in terms of servicemen. We're waiting to see if that information will be validated or will be confirmed true. Also, there is talk that attacks on the USS Lincoln may be underway. Iran is thinking about targeting that naval ship, a U.S. naval ship, to know whether or not that is true. Again, we have to wait on that information to reach us. Let's give you guys another clip. Okay.
Being leaked out of the forward operating base or any other place where.
This clip is courtesy of GB News. I think this is a Great Britain news channel.
The British military is deployed, CENTCOM here, the US side, announcing that they are adopting that procedure now for those US service personnel who've been killed. We can't say how they were killed or what area they were in during this operation. We have seen strikes on several US bases throughout the Middle East in retaliation for those strikes early yesterday morning. We can also tell you as well that there has been this indication from the United States. They claim that they have also sank an Iranian ship to the bottom of the Gulf of Oman. This also coming out of CENTCOM, saying that it sank the Iranian Navy Jamaran-class corvette during the opening strikes of that operation yesterday. Some satellite imagery from a company called Vantor, which was uploaded online yesterday, appeared to show the heavy black smoke rising from the Iranian Navy's Konarak base following those strikes yesterday morning. And the US CENTCOM now saying that they have sank that Iranian ship. We've also had a report coming out from AFP, the news aggregator there, Saudi Arabia claiming to have intercepted Iranian missiles targeting Riyadh's international airport and the Prince Sultan airbase, an airbase which has hosted coalition Western forces in the past, where Western training is conducted for air defences. This source, speaking to AFP, said that those air defences successfully intercepted Iranian missiles near Riyadh airport and that airbase on Sunday afternoon. So ongoing Iranian retaliation. It's been extraordinary, Nana, to see.
Well, from what we understand in terms of how Iran or how Iranian military tactics are developing, it seems that they are firing these missiles just to understand how they are being intercepted, you know, what systems are in place and how those systems work against incoming missiles from Iran. And by all accounts, once they get an understanding, they change tactics and they find ways to penetrate, for instance, the Iron Dome or bypass Patriot missile batteries, things of that nature. So I think that what they're doing is filling out Saudi Arabia's air defense systems. And I'm pretty sure that within the next hours, we'll hear that that airport in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, will be attacked and possibly damaged, or missiles or will possibly reach that airport, the tarmac, or even, you know, the airport building facility itself. Just given in time. Again, this is what Iran, in terms of their strategy, looks like. From Israel to Bahrain, AEU, all these other Arab countries that support the United States or its military assets or apparatus, they all have at one point or another defended against the incoming missiles from Iran until Iran figures out how to get them past, and they are all now in the crosshairs, and those missiles are getting through. So we take it that Saudi Arabia will also feel the effects of the Iranian missile assault that is taking place over there right now. Let's get back to this clip. Before we do, again, I'd like to ask that you like, share, follow, and subscribe to this channel. Again, your participation will be very, very much appreciated, and we'll continue to bring you informative and educational content that the people can use. Thank you. Your comments will be answered and addressed. Bring them. We will appreciate them.
The number of Arab countries hit, not military areas, but also civilian, residential infrastructure areas. And while there's been much discussion about the legality and the international humanitarian aspects of the American and Israeli strikes, similar questions need to be posed, of course, to Iranian strikes on civil defense areas, on infrastructure, on civilian areas, which of course would be a breach of the law of armed conflict, a total failure to distinguish between combatants and civilians, and clearly, obviously, failing the proportionality test of any law of armed conflict. We can also bring you an update of further retaliations from Iranian missile strikes in northern Israel. The sirens have been sounding there, Nana. I think I can also bring you a further update from the IDF. They've now said that they've initiated a fresh wave of strikes in the heart of Tehran. That's been issued to us just at the start of this hour. The Israeli Air Force saying they've initiated a new wave of strikes in Tehran, and some interception attempts are ongoing, but that's the latest update we have from them. Okay,
that was that one. And again, this thing is escalating. It's growing by the hour. It is being said, or it's being thought that in due time, within the next 24 to 48 hours, this thing will have evolved into a greater conflict or war that will involve other Arab countries against Iran or either with Iran. So this remains to be seen. One of our opinions here, or our thought, is at least that the United States and Israel knew exactly what it was doing. It was willing to face this bombardment or this retaliatory strike from Iran, only because it knew Iran would attack these other Arab nations in the region. And the gambit, we think, is that the United States and Israel predicted that this would happen. And as it does, as these other Arab countries become involved in this situation, they will gradually step back and allow these Arab countries to go at one another in the hopes that these other Arab countries that support or house U.S. Military bases and assets will deplete whatever arsenal Iran has. And as it does, as the depletion occurs, America and Israeli forces may come back in and finish the job. But that's just something we think is going to take place. And I'm pretty sure that's a possibility. That could be the plot or the gambit to get these other Arab nations involved, turn them against, will have Iran attack them. And as such, or because of the attack on these other Arab nations, they would turn on Iran and come together and attack Iran. That way, America and Israel can fall back and let them go at war, let them take care of the problem in their neighborhood, so to speak, before they actually get back into it and put the put the nail in the coffin. This is what we think is going to occur. Okay, so let's drop one more clip for you guys.
When it comes to your business, every detail matters, and custom printing is the face of your business.
US and Israeli planes have targeted Tehran.
This is Jan Takar. He's a reporter, very good channel right here. But again, America is being bombarded. Its military assets anyway, as well as its allies and Israel, are being bombarded by Iran, and Iran does not seem to be letting up. What they are claiming now is that they're in their fourth or fifth wave of attacks or retaliatory attacks. I don't think that America and Israel thought it would go this far, but obviously they again underestimated what that would look like, because I don't think that they thought or predicted that it would go this far and Iran would be pounding them or shooting so many missiles at them as they have been. But here's a clip. And again, it goes to what we're talking about, this thing with Iran and it taking off the kid gloves, so to speak.
And once again, they did that early in the morning today, and they are in the midst of launching another brutal round once again. Yesterday, the aerial strikes slaughtered more than 108 children at an elementary school for girls.
Now, this is the part I was talking about, when we were talking about casualties of war and how the American media, the Western media, the Israeli media will say, oh, one girl was killed. Iran is targeting civilians. But none of those news conglomerates or corporations would say, hey, the death toll in Israeli strikes on southern Iran school hits 148 children. Okay,
but Iran has continued to retaliate even after the death of their supreme leader. In fact, Iran's retaliations have only become intense. While there was a suspicion that Iranian strikes had killed and injured scores of US soldiers, the Americans have for the first time today confirmed that 3 of their soldiers had been killed by the Iranians.
Now, that's the part I was talking about. So right now, CENTCOM is only saying, hey, 3 soldiers died, but there are numerous reports saying that over 200 American servicemen have died as a result of this war. But again, who controls information?
UAE's biggest port, Jebel Ali, was set on fire after an Iranian missile hit the facility. Iranians have also destroyed an Israeli neighborhood completely. So plenty to unpack in today's video on this rapidly developing situation. Also in today's video, a UK journalist shuts up an Israeli terrorist from the rogue regime of war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu. So please stay tuned. The US has for the first time admitted that it had lost at least 3 soldiers in its illegal military aggression with Iran. 5 more US soldiers are believed to have sustained serious injuries. The acceptance by the Americans came amidst earlier reports that said hundreds of American troops had either been killed or injured in the barrage of Iranian missile and drone attacks targeting American facilities. I showed you yesterday
that's what I was speaking to, and those reports are out there. However, CENTCOM and the American government, Trump, and the military, the Department of War, aren't willing to let those stories get out, or if there are any proof to that, being the case, America is making sure that that information does not reach the public. Again, there's a lot going on. And again, Iran has taken off the gloves and they are attacking. They are literally bombing everything in sight. And they say this is just low-level bombs we're using right now. That would include the continental the ballistic missiles that they're using. That would probably include some of their hypersonic missiles. This thing is going to go a lot further and deeper than any of us think. It's going to, I think, or we think here at the Art of Political Discourse, that this thing is going to evolve into that third world war. We're waiting to see what's going to happen with China. We're waiting to see what Russia is going to do. We're waiting to see how the world reacts to this unprecedented attack on a sovereign nation over missiles, or over regime change, or over uranium enrichment. Take your pick. All three hold no weight. They're all just excuses to bring in line to tear down a government that they don't agree with. This is what this is all about. This is what this is all about. There's a lot to this. Let me get back to this clip and then we'll have some comments about it.
Condition of the US Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. Today, Iranians set the Jebel Ali port, the UAE's biggest port in the region, on fire. There are reports of American warships stationed there. So this explains why the Iranians are targeting only certain locations of the UAE. Iranian Foreign Minister Sayyid Abbas Araghchi today reportedly called his counterparts in the Arab world to assure them that Iran was not against the Arab countries, but it had to destroy American and Israeli facilities to teach them a lesson for their military transgressions.
And I think that some of these Arab countries know this. However, some of these Arab countries are complicit in what Israel does in the region to other Arab countries, the Palestinians, for example, what happens in Lebanon, the West Bank and all these things. Some of these Arab countries are complicit. They don't say nothing, go along with it. They'll even allow their airspace to be used to attack, other Arab countries. This is nothing new. Some are against it, some are for it. And dealing with political, the political atmosphere, the political arena, you can tell who's with who or who turns a blind eye more than anyone else when Israel attacks and kills civilians or attacks governments that they see as an existential threat. What is all this fear for? Why does it? Because of what Israel has done to that whole region. And why the United States backed them, it's not anyone's guess. I think that's becoming public knowledge. United States is emboldened, or Israel has something on this government and the people in this country, United States. There's something Israel have over them, and they are scared that Israel will tell. So they do Israel's bidding. And this is Israel's bidding. Okay, let's get back to this piece. Again, like, share, and please comment if you agree with what I'm saying or if you don't. We would like to know what you think in terms of this content that we're putting out there.
This is Sky News reporter reporting from Dubai.
Yeah, it has been quite a 24 hours, Anna, and it was a very eventful night as well. The UAE has confirmed it's intercepted what they've said were hundreds of drones and missiles flying into UAE airspace. And there's been another 2 series of very loud bangs of air defense this morning. You might be able to make out behind me this rather large plume of smoke. That is Jebel Ali port area, where there's a significant buildup now of American naval assets. That was hit just before 2 o'clock this morning, quite a large explosion. Now, the official line is that it was debris, but it really is quite a significant plume of smoke that's still rising all these hours later.
And this is part of what we're talking about in terms of what the people are being allowed to see. So that could very well be American naval ships over there burning, and it's been burning for a day now. All right. It's been burning for quite some time.
Above Dubai's skyline.
Meanwhile, Iran has also claimed to have hit an American aircraft carrier, USS Abraham Lincoln. If this is true, then this simply shows the resolve of the Iranians. Iranians reportedly fired 4 ballistic missiles with the intention of sinking USS Abraham Lincoln. The IRGC said in a statement that the US aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln was struck by 4 ballistic missiles. It warned that the land and sea will increasingly become the graveyard of the terrorist aggressors.
And on that note, we'll stop that. Again, we're subjected to whatever information those who control it will put out there. And I think that's a disadvantage for a lot of us. There's a lot going on, and this thing is evolving rapidly. The United States wants to keep, as well as Israel wants to keep, a good face or make like they're doing all the work is being done, and Iran has nothing, or there is nothing Iran can do about it. Certain reports saying no, that's not necessarily the truth. Iran is holding its own at this point, but we're not able to confirm nor deny any of that, and that's the problem with information in today's world. Who controls it? Who controls the information we get? Yeah, there's a lot going on, and hopefully in time, a lot of what we need to know will find its way to us. Okay, let's hope that occurs. But until then, this is the Art of Political Discourse. We appreciate your viewership and participation. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.
You can murder a liberator, but you can't murder liberation. You can murder a revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder freedom.